nice session, and many thanks for organizing it. So, what we will do today is a navigation to the Master of Engineering Management program. I have prepared a small presentation that will help us through. So, please allow me to share my screen. I guess now everybody can see my presentation. Is that correct?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, great. So, welcome again. The presentation is about the Master of Engineering Management program. This program is hosted by the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering. This might look a bit awkward, although because the program is much broader than just civil and environmental engineering, but this is the hosting department. Furthermore, it is organized in partnership between the School of Engineering and Digital Sciences, as you see, and the Graduate School of Business of Nazarbayev University. Let's see how we will move today. So, the agenda is the following. I will first make a brief introduction to this session, and I'll share a couple of information about myself. I will explain briefly the program aims, and then we will move to a very interesting part of the presentation, which contains some key questions and answers, easily elaborated and nice to discuss. And I expect that these Q&As will provide you an overview, a quite complete overview of the program and its benefits. We will then perform an overview of the curriculum, that is, of the courses and the structures of the program, share a couple of things about our team in this program. Then we will continue with a couple more Q&As, discuss about the Capstone projects, elaborate on the program strengths, and if time permits, there will be some things you always wanted to know, and I hope not afraid to ask. Okay? So, let's start our presentation. A brief introduction about your speaker, that is myself. So, my name is Dimitrios Emiris. I am an electrical engineer through all my studies. I have received a diploma, 5-year degree in electrical engineering from the National Technical University of Athens, some 34 years ago. Then I completed my Master of Science and PhD in electrical engineering at the University of Rochester. And as you can see, my PhD was in robotics, which is a highly technical, let's say, subject. I have been a faculty member since 1993. Recently, I was serving as a professor in the Department of Industrial Management and Technology at the University of Piraeus in Greece. And since August 2019, I joined Nazarbayev University as a professor and director of the Master of Engineering Management program. Among the main interests and practices that I perform, I am a project management professional, accredited since 2008, and I have been involved in the planning, monitoring, controlling, information management, and communication in several projects over the last 20 to 24 years. Here are my contact details in case you want to email and share your thought or if you have any questions. And the reason I present this brief CV is mostly to trigger a question. And the question is, how come a, let's say, hardcore engineer involved in robotics shifted to a so-called engineering management? And how is management coupled to engineering? All right? So this will be, let's say, a main topic of our discussion today. The Master of Engineering Management program that we are talking about is a specialized degree program, as we call it. As I said, it is performed in a partnership between the School of Engineering and Digital Sciences and the Graduate School of Business. It has been established in 2014 and has already produced over 110 successful graduates. It enrolls 25 students per year on the average. Recently, that means last year, we enrolled a bit more, like 42. And we expect also to maintain this number around the neighborhood of 40 students per year for this year as well. The program is very popular and forward-looking, and this is one of the reasons that is extremely welcome by the professional community and by scholars, by graduates of undergraduate schools. What are the key aims of our program? I will here stay very briefly just to highlight them. First of all, we want to provide postgraduate engineers with tools, knowledge, and skills. This is very important, okay? So tools, knowledge, and skills necessary for a successful career, both in local and global engineering management. In other words, what you learn at MEM is useful not only for the local industry, local market. It is international knowledge provided by international faculty with international experiences. Second, it is to support the progression of engineers of all disciplines to management roles in both private and public sectors. In other words, we evolve engineers from the strict, let's say, engineering perspective into a more managerial role where they encompass their engineering and quantitative skills into practice, and they really are able and ready to manage or at least perceive more globally the operation of an industrial company. A third thing is that we aim to develop future leaders of technology-based organizations by providing a state-of-the-art and applied engineering management. So among the skills that we cultivate in our program is leadership, team building, human cooperation, communication, and so on. All of this enable you to become really efficient leaders, and notice here, technology-based organizations. So in other words, we do not prepare you to have a managerial role in a bank. We are talking about technology-based organizations, or organizations, companies that is, that employ technology, that use technology. And finally, we aim to promote the importance of entrepreneurship, intrapreneurship, and the core values of ethical enterprise in modern economies. Simply put, learn how to become an ethical and well-respected manager, okay? Move on with values. Now, let's go to our Q&A session. This starts now to be amusing, okay? So, what is engineering management? Okay, here, therefore, you have a question which has two terms, engineering and management. What is engineering management? Would anybody like to share an opinion? Through the microphone. It's, you know, let's talk instead of writing. Anybody would like to share a thought? Okay, let me make the start. Therefore, engineering management is a discipline that focuses, or a knowledge area, you would say, knowledge, let's say, yes, area that focuses on the management of engineering, industrial, and technical organizations and systems. Okay, so we are talking about management of organizations that have operations, technology-related operations. All right, more details to follow. So if we were to ask ourselves, what does it mean to manage an industrial company? Here, excuse my small mistake, it is manage an industrial company. If I were asked, I would try to draw, although I'm very bad at drawing, something like that. This is an industrial company. And for those of you, and I guess this is maybe most of you that this seems a bit perplexed, let me give some explanations. An industrial company is a company that produces things. So here you have a production system, a production line. This may manufacture goods or products. For this to happen, it uses raw materials that it feeds to the production line. In order to obtain the raw materials, it needs to go to vendors to ask for them to provide, to procure the raw material, and subsequently, after it receives them, it has to pay the vendors. The needs of the quantities that are needed for the raw materials are identified through a planning process, and the planning process is mostly coordinated by forecasts, and the forecasts are a result of sales and marketing. So practically, when you go to a shop and you buy something, you are the customer over here. The product that you are buying comes from a warehouse of finished products that has been filled in through a production that has used materials from vendors. And here are the vendors. And the vendors have been requested to provide materials through the forecast, and the forecast uses the sales. So this is more or less a cycle of what happens in an industrial company. Of course, all this has to be paid, has to be financed, has to be, let's say, maintained and managed with human resources. So an industrial company, practically, and this is a key difference between engineering management and business management, the key difference is that an industrial company has this part over here. It has production and it has supply of raw materials. Whereas if you go, let's say, to a bank or if you go to a simple shop, you only have this part over here. So an industrial company is much, much, much more global than any other simple or commercial company. And of course, an industrial company is not confined only to selling products, but it may also sell services. A railroad company like KTZ, for instance, which is one of the companies we cooperate in this program, has both services, transportation services, and it also has a very significant engineering branch which operates all the infrastructure, the wagons, and so on. So engineering management is about managing such complex companies. It is much more expanded than traditional companies. So the key answer here, how does engineering management differ from business management, is that the key difference is that the engineering management includes the so-called back office operations: production, supply, manufacturing, reliability, maintenance, etc. This is the key differentiator. So, another question. Do you think that companies need managers with engineering background? What do you think? Share your thoughts. Anybody would like to share the thoughts, maybe in the chat or?
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, my point of view, yes, company shall to have an engineering background.
Okay, so let me ask you one question, my friend. Let's assume that you are in a company which is a technological company. And
I'm working.
You are working there?
I'm working as design company.
Okay, great. So you have a production, design and production?
Yes, of course. We're doing
okay, great.
design.
So let's assume, that's fantastic. I'm very happy. So let's assume that you are trying to hire people, or you are looking for people, all right? Or you want to help the people that already work in the company. and you want them both to manage the company. That means to manage the human resources, manage the finance, and so on.
Business
And at the
management,
same
you mean?
time, yes, and at the same time, know about engineering.
It's impossible for us.
Would you go to a business school, to economics, or an engineering school for that?
Actually, I finished MBA as my second education, and then I thinking about to start engineering management, but actually I didn't compare between each other.
Okay,
that's why I'm there.
All right, let's therefore find out together if you have a right decision. Okay?
Okay.
Sure. All right. Thank you very much. So let me continue in the chat. Okay, Laura says, I think it's not that important to have technical background. Kind of true. I would say not engineering background, I would say quantitative background. Okay? So understanding of technology, yes, this is very correct. I would not see, this program is not about engineers only. Okay? There is this misconception that only engineers can apply and so on. No, this is not correct. We welcome students from different backgrounds. Of course, we believe that students that, let's say, have studied as a first degree history, for instance, would find it kind of difficult, okay? But students with quantitative background, maybe computer science, economics, business, okay? They are welcome. Okay, let's make this clear from the beginning. Now, let's go back to our question. Do companies need managers with engineering background? I would say that companies need engineering managers like water in Sahara. Okay, and the reason is that today industry needs engineers that understand business concepts and have managerial skills. And the reason for that, my friends, is that we all live in years and in times where technology is more and more present in anything we do. For instance, see what we are doing today. We use highly the technology in order to have this conference. Okay, we use, of course, information technology, we use computer science and so on. Nevertheless, we use technology to achieve that. And technology is more and more inherent in day-to-day operations. Furthermore, I would say it is easier to have quantitative background and study management rather than the other way around. So, for example, it is much more difficult to have a management background and try to study engineering. Okay? But notice here that I put the word quantitative background and not engineering. All right? Just to make sure that an industrial manager should have. So let's assume you take an engineering manager and an industrial manager, no matter how you want to call it. What are the management skills you would like them to have? So a brief approach can be anything that contains management on it. So production management, okay? How to set up and organize and fine-tune your production and operations. Supply chain management, the procurement part that we talked about. Project management, in order to plan, organize, and execute projects. Risk management, in order to be able to identify, quantify, and respond to risks. But of course, if we stayed only in this, that would be kind of risky. So we need these engineering management skills along with general management skills, such as human resource management, communication, leading change, business strategy development, knowledge management, and so on. All right? And of course, it always helps to spice that, let's say, with a broad international perspective. So, for instance, knowing things about globalization, internationalization, innovation, consumer behavior, and so on, always helps. Okay? So that brings us to our curriculum. So we have seen so far what would be needed, and let's now see how the curriculum of the Master of Engineering Management goes and addresses all the needs, all right? So please pay attention here. The curriculum of the Master of Engineering Management is organized in 4 semesters: fall, spring, fall, 5 courses of 6 ECTS each. The different color over here signifies the type of courses. So these one are considered engineering core courses or School of Engineering core courses. These 2 are core courses of the Master of Engineering Management, and this one is an elective Master of Engineering Management course. So over here, for instance, you have Engineering Management and Engineering Economy and Project Management. In the second semester of courses, we provide a different perspective to our students. So students take 8 courses in blocks of 2. Although these courses are semester-wide, these are month-wide. So every course is about 1 month. 2 courses per month, all right? So the student take 8 courses from the Graduate School of Business, and over here you see the general management skills, as we call them. For instance, strategy, change, communication, marketing, and so on. In the third semester, students come back to the School of Engineering and Digital Sciences, and they take core courses like supply chain management, production and service operations management, and so on, along with key electives like big data and information management with data analytics, systems engineering, and so on. And on the fourth semester of studies, the students take 2 courses, 1 core course and 1 elective, one of these 2, and they also perform their capstone project. All right, this is very, very important for the completion of the degree. So overall, our curriculum is structured in 4 semesters, 120 ECTS overall, and shifting between School of Engineering and Digital Sciences and Graduate School of Business, and culminates with the Capstone Project. All right? Now, we execute our program based on a team, let's say, cooperation. And our team is composed by core MEM faculty enriched with international faculty as visiting professors, faculty from the School of Engineering and Digital Sciences to cover specific topics of our program from all the departments of the school, from the mechanical engineering, from chemical engineering, from civil engineering, from electrical engineering. All faculty members from all departments participate in our program. Of course, we have faculty from the Graduate School of Business, and we are continuously supported by a very efficient administration team. At the center of our team is the cohort of our students. And as I said, these are between 25 to 40 per year, depending on the year of admissions. All right? Now, a key question that we often have is whether our degree and our program and our courses fit for the industry of the future. And I would say this, and this is something that I can really and very reliably testify to you, being the director of the program. The curriculum of MEM is constantly developing, adapting, and modernizing. That means not only do we have the courses that you have seen, but within each course, we evolve the material, we modernize it, we bring business cases, and apply modern tools, let's say software tools, and new techniques. For instance, we have infused recently in our program industrial analytics, let's say, topics, digital transformation concepts, Industry 4 subjects, and so on. And this happens across the board in all our courses. We use, moreover, many engineering tools. For instance, we use a broad set of tools like operational research tools, statistics tools, project management information systems, business intelligence, and so on. Business process, let's say, engineering, and so on. All these tools and a much larger tool set than the ones I have displayed over here are available and are continuously operational. So all the courses, they use modern tools and are accessible to you 24/7, either with physical presence or remotely in our labs. And if a question, as we put before, is put, does engineering management fit with my undergraduate studies? I would say yes, if you have an engineering, technological, or quantitative background. In that case, you have most likely come to contact with technical aspects of your science. Engineering management helps you integrate these aspects, okay? So practically, we take different pieces of puzzles, we give you a few more pieces, and we glue it all together in a very coherent and a very nice curriculum that is very efficient and useful to the market. Moreover, what we do is we help you obtain a broader perspective. This is very useful for your professional life, and especially if you want to pursue a managerial role. Another question we have, and this I guess is the last Q&A from the some I have prepared, is why MEM is the most successful program over the years. You might know already that the Master of Engineering Management is one of the most successful, or if not the most successful program of the university. It admits several students constantly every year. We have very high demand, and to be completely honest, in the School of Engineering and Digital Sciences, it is the Master of Engineering Management and the Data Science program that are the front runners, let's say, always in the interest. And if I would spot some reasons, I would say this: great curriculum, applied knowledge, so it is not theoretical, it is applied knowledge, cooperation with the industry throughout your studies, response to needs, professional markets, and so on, and it is always innovative. It has innovative subjects. You will not see, let's say, quote unquote, archaeology in there. Although we may have many years of experience, all of us, in the academic and professional industry, we keep ourselves up to date. Most of our faculty has not only academic experience, but also professional experience. So what you learn is not only what you can find in a book. Okay, this is extremely important. As I said before, in our curriculum at the 4th semester of studies, students carry out their capstone project. If you know what is the meaning of the capstone is the capstone. That means a stone that is put on the cap, on the top. So this is from the medieval ages, where people were building, let's say, monuments, churches, buildings, and whatever, and they are putting a stone to hold on the top to hold all the structure, okay? Or let's say a very big stone door, okay? Stone entrance. This is the capstone, and it is called the capstone because it culminates and it covers whatever you have learned. So the capstone project is performed formally during the 4th semester of studies. It capitalizes on the knowledge, and it also aims to cultivate leadership and teamwork between you and your fellow students, and responds to a pragmatic, to a real industrial need. So it is carried by student teams of 3 to 4 members. It has a close cooperation with the supervising professor or professors and managers of companies. It is expected to deliver a rigorous applied research result, which is tested in industry. We consider it to be a passport to the job market, and under normal operational conditions, that means no pandemics, it is presented in an open day at the university atrium, and it is visited by hundreds of interested people, students, faculty, administration, and so on. So, among the key strengths, more on top of the key strengths that we talked before, and this in cooperation, in a combination to the Capstone project, let me also mention that we have a broad cooperation with the industry, with many companies, as well as we have very well established academic alliances with professional chapters. Many, if not most, of the biggest international and Kazakhstani companies cooperate with our program, especially in the context of capstone projects. Not only that, but we have very rigorous research activities in which you can participate. This is not the only activities we do, there are even much more, and you can always participate in them either through research programs or your capstone projects. Okay? So I have a few more things to say, things that you always wanted to know and so on, but I will stop my presentation now to give time for discussion. All right? And I hope I did not, bombed you with too much information. Okay? So I will be happy now to listen to questions, concerns, and so on you may have. Yes, of course. This presentation will be provided to you. I guess, Lunara, this is a standard thing. We give the presentation, right?
We usually upload the video to the YouTube.
Okay.
But we can send it, Yusufjan. If you send us you can write your email, we will send it to you.
You're welcome very much, Laura. Do you have questions? Was that everything clear to you?
Dear participants, you can ask your questions in Russian, in Kazakh, we will translate it. You can write it or turn your microphone on.
Now, what about the data science program? For the data science program, there is a separate open day. So please watch the announcements. There will be a separate presentation for the data science program. Okay, a very interesting program as well. May I ask one question this is a global question to all of you, right? So would you please share what is your background? Undergraduate degree, let's say, or undergraduate and graduate degree if you already have. In the chat box if you want. Chemical engineering, mechanical, electrical, information okay, Sayejan, thank you very much. of your involvement, MEM is a very good choice. You are an electrical engineer and you want, let's say, to study further, let's say, telecommunications aspects, all right, on telecommunications or on energy or whatever, or you are a mechanical engineer. If you want to dive deep into the science you have already started, then you should orient yourselves to the departmental, let's say, graduate programs of our school. They are all very competent and very interesting. If, however, you have a technical, quantitative, engineering degree or whatever, and you want to learn how to manage companies, organizations, by capitalizing in your background, okay? And at the same time, being able to understand managerial concepts and take roles of and responsibilities in such companies, MEM may be a good fit for you. Okay? So it's, let's say, more global, more horizontal. Okay? This is one advice I would always give.
Dimitrios,
Please.
can I ask you about diploma? Do this diploma working on other countries? I mean, does this diploma will be as international one, or we have some accreditation? I mean, Nazarbayev University.
The Master of Engineering Management is equivalent to Master of Science. So it is 120 ECTS diploma. It is recognized, it is official diploma, and of course, you can take this and submit, let's say, applications for, I don't know, for PhD, let's say, abroad. Of course. It's the same as if you had, let's say, an MSc.
Very nice, very nice. Why I'm asking, because, you know, when you flying to US or UK, they're asking about diploma and looking for your national diploma, I mean, from Kazakhstan, and oh no, it's just a letter for us. Okay, my second question is, what about cost for each year? As I right understanding, it's 2 years. How much we will pay?
All right, for this thing, please address the question to the admissions department. For as far as I know, there are stipends for that, and there are conditions for the stipends. So please address this question to the admissions that know all the details.
Okay, thank you very much. Admissions department, some representative is there or not?
Yes, Miss Lunara Sakiyeva is here.
Okay, thanks. I will ask you.
Yusufjan, hello. I will
Hello.
write our email. Can you please send us your question about the step?
Dimitrios, Lunara, I'm here.
Great, thank you.
Dear participants, hello, my name is Aida Sultan Ali. So yeah, so I'm a senior manager for admission and recruitment process of our school. So about costs, generally we offer our course by state grants. Also, we have internal grants of Nazarbayev University. And about the exact cost, like let's say about 95-97% of our students are studying by grant, scholarships, which covers tuition fee, medical insurance, and for foreigners it's like visa issues and the dormitory accommodation issues. So about the exactly cost, we can write to your email the exact amount. For now, I don't remember. It's about 20-something per year, but I don't know the exact number. Could you write? Lunar will provide the email to the chat box, and you can write us. We will reply you. Okay, the exact amount, I mean. but try to get the scholarship, because it's really possible. And as I told you, 95-97% of our students studying by scholarships.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, I'm just asking about how many places do you have for this specialty? Like you say 97% have a grant, but how many places you have?
From the last year, we the number of grants are like we extend, how to say, увеличилось.
Why don't you say that in Russian? It's okay.
Окей. Да, давайте объясню, что-то я только что провела вебинар на русском, и что-то я не могу переключиться на английский. Так, с каждым годом, вы знаете, что, как профессор сказал, у нас MEM очень популярная программа, и с каждым годом у нас все больше и больше аппликантов подают заявления. Поэтому вот с прошлого года, то есть цифра на гранты увеличилась, то есть нам побольше дали грант именно на эту программу. Поэтому около 100, по-моему, грантов было. Но подавали где-то 200, ну, на 2-3 человека вот так конкурс идет у нас. Обычно так. Но в этом году нам еще пока не сказали. Мы ждем официального анонсмента, объявления от Министерства образования, потому что они же нам дают количество грантов, и мы потом распределяем на эту программу столько-то, на эту программу столько-то. Пока у нас этой информации нету, мы ждем. Как только это, то, наверное, ну, мы во время интервью, наверное, вам скажем.
Спасибо.
Если это... Пока я вам ничего не могу сказать. Спасибо.
Вы так все сказали, что 100 студентов каждый год. Презентацию что-то мне показалось 25-40 ежегодно, нет? Или как?
Не, да, до этого так было, но в прошлом году у нас увеличилось.
Да, сейчас?
На этот год не знаю, честно. Сейчас нам ничего не сказали. Мы ждем официального подтверждения от топ-менеджмента и Министерства образования.
Хорошо.
Обычно сначала у нас 20 было, потом на 30 увеличилось, потом 40 было. Ну, вот каждый год, оно же 2014 года, эта программа у нас работает. Каждый год вот чуть-чуть увеличилось, и в этом году не знаем. Как скажут, так и будет. Пока не знаем.
If I may, I do not understand anything, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay,
Dimitrios, could you just comment on that, about the number of grants that
it's all right.
For every year?
Let me just give one advice to the students here, all right? So guys, and girls, of course, okay, it's universal. You are interested, let's say, in the program, all right? The MEM program is, as I said, if you are interested, try to prepare a rigorous application, okay? All things matter. We seek candidates that have a good GPA, that have skills, that have activities. If they have professional experience, even better, all right? But we seek for good applicants with good command of the English language, right? And in case your application progresses and you go into the interview phase, come prepared, treat it seriously, okay? As I say many times, you don't have a second chance to make a first impression, all right? Very important. So if you look at it seriously, treat it seriously as well, okay? It's a very good, very rewarding, and very demanding program as well, as you have seen.
Thank you, Professor. Let me just add here something about this MEM program. The MEM Engineering Management Program is one of the programs where they offer to our graduate students academic mobility programs. Maybe Professor mentioned it before. I will add here.
Yes, please do, because I didn't say anything.
This is the only program.
Please do. Yes.
Oh, really? Yeah. This is, as I told, this is one of the program in our school that offers to our students, to graduate, to master students, academic mobility programs. Already a few students already went there and successfully finished these programs. This is exchange programs where we send our students to abroad, with some projects or by some special programs, and there is exchange between our universities. And also we have like a special program, bilateral program with Penn State. Also Professor Marisa Tsakalero is providing this. Also, really, guys, this is a really very nice program. Apply it. If you get the grant, it will be really super for you. It will give you a great future. Thank you.
Okay, can I ask one question, please? Like, in your opinion, does the time of submission of documents are affect? Like, will it be at the beginning or at the end?
Doesn't matter. The deadline is 30th of April. Until the 30th of April, our admission committee will not review anything. So we will wait the April 30th. After April 30th, your documents will be checked, will be reviewed by admission department, general admission department of the university. They will check for correctness, for the fullness of the package here. If all your documents meet all the requirements, then in that way only, they will send your documents to the school. At school, there is a special admission committee where Dimitri is also there and the other our great professors there. Then they will check, review again. Then after shortlisting, the applicants will be invited to the interview. Then the secretary of the admission committee will write you special email where she will provide the format, date, time of the interview. And you will, sorry, for MEM program, before interview, you will be invited to ALEX test. There is a special mathematical test. It will provide online because of this COVID situation. After the ALEX test, it will be shortlisting again. After the shortlisting, you will be invited to the interview. After interview, you will wait for the decision. It will come to your emails. This is like full stages.
Okay.
Aida, we have a question about the new zip.
Okay.
Расскажите по поводу подготовительного года или курса. Can you please tell us more?
So, okay, NUZIP is a special program, let's say foundation year for master's program. You will have 1 year for the preparing for the first year of master degree. The requirements you can see in our website, it's just the difference is in IELTS. You can submit your IELTS with 5.5 and 6, at least one sub score should be 6.0. So yeah, the foundation is very simple to the normal main program. You will get that stipend, the same amount. You will get all that access that have main program students to the athletic center, to their library, everywhere. Just the difference is that you will have this master degree for 3 years. It will last, I mean. So 1 year in foundation, then 2 years in master's degree. In the NUZIP, I know that there is a 3 or 4 subjects will be. One is, of course, English. The second is regarding your specialization. 2 subjects other, was 2 or 3. That's all. This is a difference.
So next question about ALEX test, ALEX math test, right?
Essential mathematics for business.
Yes.
Yeah.
The next question, do you have local exams to substitute IELTS and SAT?
SAT, we do not need for graduate programs SAT. We need only from you for MEM ALEX test. If you do not want to pass ALEX test, you can submit us the ready certificates for GRE or GMAT. So if you have these certificates, you can substitute it to ALEX test. About IELTS, no, for now we have, for this year, officially we need IELTS or TOEFL certificates. This was announcement from management of Nazarbayev University. So we will not change it to another examinations language. So IELTS will stay like this. SAT is only for undergraduate degree, not for graduate. Yeah, SAT also will stay for this year for undergraduate degree. Mm-hmm.
If I will be good only for new zip year, should I pass the ALEX math test?
Yes,
before the interview.
ALEX test is compulsory for all, for new zip and for MEM. Dimitrios,
Okay.
can I ask something?
Yes.
During the application, students will not indicate, in the application form, they're going to new zip or MEM program. The admission committee will decide, right? From that
Yes.
year, this was a change, yeah?
Practically,
Mhm.
you are when you submit, you submit all your documentation based on the standardized tests. You are, let's say, grouped into into main MEM, let's say, applicants and new zip applicants. Okay. Now, both groups, they are, let's say, filtered from stage to stage. A part of the applicants comes to the interview stage, and from this group of applicants, some are admitted and some are not. The same happens for new zip applicants. So if you are in a new zip, let's say, category, let's assume we have 10 applicants for new zip, we may admit only 2 or 3 or 4 of them for new zip. And the reason for that is this, that if you are accepted to new zip, practically, you are accepted to MEM with 1 year delay. So the next year, once you finish new zip, you do not undergo the same application process. Very smoothly, you join the MEM. So
automatically, yeah.
Yes. So if you are accepted to new zip, the only thing that happens is that you are required to take 1 more year of preparation. But the next year you join MEM without any further steps or further examination or whatever else. Okay.
So any other questions, guys?
Okay. If there are no other questions, should we conclude here?
We have also a quiz for our participants. Dear participants,
yes, the quiz. Yes,
we have a quiz with
and the
branded gifts. Yes, of course. So try to be the first to answer right. So I will start the quiz. So let us start. First of all, the rules of the quiz. Read all 5 questions. The clues were in the presentation. You should listen it. You should have listened it carefully. Write in the chat box all the 5 answers in one message. It will be very useful and it will be convenient for us to find the first one. And the first